You might not believe this, but there are certain cooked vegetables, yes, ordinary ones, you might already have in your kitchen that can help protect and even repair aging eyes while you sleep. It sounds too simple, I know, but stay with me. I've spent over 30 years working with seniors, and if there's one silent struggle that breaks my heart most, it's this: losing the ability to see clearly, not being able to drive confidently at night, not recognizing your grandchildren's faces, not reading a menu, a book, or even your own handwriting without straining. You might feel embarrassed asking people to read for you, or scared to step outside because the world is starting to look blurry, faded like a memory that's slipping away. And here's the cruel part. It often happens so gradually, we don't even realize it until it's already affecting our freedom. Does that sound familiar? Now let me be clear, this isn't your fault. Your eyes are aging just like the rest of your body. But that doesn't mean you're powerless. In fact, today, I want to show you something that's been sitting quietly on your dinner plate. Something that when cooked just right, can gently nourish and restore your eyes even as you rest at night. You'll walk through 4 powerful vegetables, starting with the obvious hero, and ending with one that's surprisingly underrated, but may have the strongest impact of them all. If this is your first time here, I'm Dr. Christopher Evan, and this channel is dedicated to helping you take back your health, one gentle, science-backed step at a time. If that sounds like something you need, feel free to hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. Now let's talk about the first vegetable, one that's been quietly guarding our vision for generations. And yet, few people know how to prepare it for maximum benefit. Let's begin. You've heard it before, carrots are good for your eyes. But if you've always thought that was just an old wives' tale, let me tell you, it's not only true but scientifically solid, especially for aging eyes that struggle to adjust to darkness or glare. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, a pigment that gives them their bright orange color. But what matters is what your body does with that pigment. Once consumed, beta-carotene is converted in your liver into vitamin A, a critical nutrient that plays a direct role in producing a protein called rhodopsin. Rhodopsin lives in the rods of your retina, the part of the eye that lets you see in low light. Without enough vitamin A, your eyes struggle to regenerate these light-sensitive cells. That's when night vision gets blurry, glare from headlights becomes blinding, and you find yourself hesitating to drive, especially at dusk. Now, here's the part that surprises most people, especially the health-conscious. Raw carrots won't give you enough of this benefit. Beta-carotene is a fat-soluble nutrient, meaning your body absorbs it best when it's combined with dietary fat, and even better when the vegetable is gently cooked. Think of it like unlocking a safe. The nutrients in raw carrots are trapped inside tough plant fibers. Cooking softens those fibers and breaks down cell walls, releasing the beta-carotene. Then, when you pair that with a healthy fat like olive oil, ghee, or even a bit of butter, it creates the perfect vehicle for absorption. Suddenly, you're not just eating a vegetable, you're feeding your retina. This is especially important in the evening. Why? Because your body does most of its cellular repair work at night, when you're at rest and the eyes are not constantly exposed to light stimuli. That means if you eat cooked carrots with a bit of fat at dinner, your body will absorb, convert, and deploy that vitamin A right when your eyes are rebuilding. It's a quiet kind of support. No pills, no side effects, just food doing what food was meant to do. I remember a gentleman named Harold, 72 years old, proud grandfather, retired mail carrier. He came to me, frustrated. "Doc, I can't see house numbers at night anymore. I miss that feeling of knowing where I'm going." We made a simple shift. I asked him to eat roasted carrots with dinner, 3 nights a week drizzled with olive oil, a pinch of sea salt, nothing fancy. After 6 weeks, he came back with a smile I won't forget. "I drove to my daughter's for dinner," he said, "and I didn't need to squint. For the first time in years, the street signs were clear. It was like someone cleaned the windshield in my head." That's the power of nourishment, real food, real function, and in Harold's case, real freedom restored. Carrots might seem ordinary, but when used wisely, they become a tool not just for nutrition, but for reclaiming confidence and clarity in your daily life. Now, while carrots help you see in the dark, the next vegetable works on an even deeper level by reducing the inflammation that quietly damages your eyes from within. If carrots help sharpen what you see in the dark, broccoli helps protect the delicate structure of your eyes from something far more dangerous, chronic inflammation. We often think of inflammation as joint pain or swelling, but inside the eyes, inflammation works silently. It damages tiny blood vessels, it weakens retinal cells, and over time, it slowly robs us of sharp, clear vision. Broccoli is one of the few vegetables that naturally contain both antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, making it a powerful defender for aging eyes. Since dark green florates are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin nutrients, your body sends directly to the macula, the central part of the retina that controls your ability to read, recognize faces, and see detail. The macula is like the camera lens of the eye, and just like a lens, it can get cloudy and damaged from years of exposure to light, stress, and free radicals. That's when conditions like macular degeneration begin to show up. Blurred central vision, wavy lines, or even black spots in the center of your sight. Now here's the good news. Lutein and zeaxanthin from broccoli can help slow down that damage, and in some cases, support repair of weakened retinal tissue, but only if they're absorbed properly. Raw broccoli has tough fibers that trap these nutrients, but when it's lightly steamed just until tender, those fibers break down, and the good stuff becomes bioavailable, ready for your body to absorb and put to work. A little bit of fat, say a dash of olive oil or a sprinkle of shredded cheese, helps even more. That's because these nutrients are fat-soluble, meaning they need fat to hitch a ride into your bloodstream. For older adults, where every small improvement in vision matters, this kind of gentle support can be a game changer. One of my patients, Gloria, once told me, "I used to love reading, but now the words just float off the page." We made one simple change, half a cup of steamed broccoli with dinner a few times a week. A month later, she wasn't reading novels again, but she wasn't squinting to read the mail either, and that alone brought a smile back to her face. That's how healing begins, quietly, naturally over time. Broccoli may not be flashy, but when it comes to protecting your eyes from the inside out, it's one of the strongest allies you can have. And now, from broccoli's sturdy stalks, we move to a leafy green that's even more concentrated in vision-saving nutrients, and may be the strongest defense we have against irreversible vision loss. Among all the vegetables known to support vision, kale quietly stands at the top. It may not look like much, just a tough, dark, leafy green, but kale is one of the most concentrated sources of eye protective nutrients we know of, especially for those facing the greatest threat to their sight, age-related macular degeneration, AMD. AMD isn't just blurry vision, it's the slow breakdown of the macula, the center of your retina, responsible for sharp, focused vision. When the macula begins to deteriorate, it doesn't just affect your eyesight, it affects your life. Reading becomes exhausting, faces become indistinct, and at some point, even pouring a glass of water can feel like guesswork. Kale offers a powerful line of defense, if you use it right. It contains exceptionally high levels of lutein and zeaxanthin, the very same pigments found in your macula. These pigments act like internal sunglasses, shielding the retina from harmful blue light and oxidative damage. But here's the part most people don't realize. Your body doesn't produce lutein and zeaxanthin on its own. You must get them from food, and kale delivers them in spades, especially when it's lightly cooked. Raw kale is rich in nutrients, yes, but it also contains compounds that can block absorption of minerals and irritate the gut if eaten too often. That's why lightly steaming or sautéing kale not only makes it more digestible, it actually helps unlock the vision-saving nutrients inside those dense, dark leaves. Cooked kale also preserves its vitamin C and vitamin K content, both of which support healthy blood flow to the eyes and help maintain the strength of tiny capillaries in the retina. I once worked with a retired librarian named Marie. She was 79 and had already lost partial central vision in one eye. Her biggest fear? That it'll spread, she told me. That I'll wake up one day and not see my family clearly again. We introduced kale to her diet in the simplest way possible. Steamed, drizzled with olive oil, a touch of lemon juice to soften the flavor. Just a quarter cup 3 or 4 times a week. It didn't reverse the damage. Nothing truly can once AMD has advanced too far, but it slowed the progression. And more importantly, it gave her a sense of control. The feeling that she wasn't just watching her vision disappear, but actively protecting what was left. And that matters. Sometimes healing isn't about going back. It's about holding on to what you still have and strengthening it. So if you're someone who's been told, there's nothing more we can do, know this. Your body still listens to nourishment. Your eyes are still responding. And kale might be the quiet helper they've been waiting for. Up next is a vegetable many overlook. Soft, mild, and watery. But inside, it holds the key to hydration, vitamin C, and the gentle support your retina needs to stay strong as you age. It's easy to overlook zucchini. It's mild, soft, often treated like a filler in meals. But for aging eyes, especially those battling dryness, irritation, or fragile retinal tissue, zucchini is a quiet but powerful ally. One of the most underappreciated causes of eye discomfort in older adults is dehydration. As we age, our bodies lose moisture more easily. Tear production declines. The tissues behind our eyes, the retina, optic nerve, and macula become more vulnerable to pressure, dryness, and oxidative stress. And that's where zucchini steps in. Zucchini is made up of over 90% water, making it one of the most hydrating cooked vegetables you can eat. But it doesn't just deliver water, it also contains a rare combination of nutrients that support retinal health and tissue resilience. First, it's rich in vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant that protects your eyes from cellular damage caused by light exposure and aging. Vitamin C also helps maintain the collagen structure of the eye, the framework that keeps the cornea, sclera, and blood vessels strong and flexible. Second, zucchini contains a modest but important amount of manganese, a trace mineral involved in enzyme activation inside the retina. These enzymes help process light and protect against free radicals, the unstable molecules that break down eye tissue over time. And while zucchini is not as concentrated in lutein as kale or broccoli, it still contains a supportive amount. And here's the key. It's easy to digest, even for seniors with sensitive digestion or low appetite. Because zucchini is soft and neutral in flavor, it can be steamed, sautéed, or blended into soups without overwhelming the dish or the palate. That makes it an ideal evening food, something that nourishes without weighing you down, especially before bed, when your body begins its nightly repair cycle. One of my older patients, Tom, age 81, had been struggling with chronic dry eyes and nighttime irritation. Eye drops gave temporary relief, but the issue always returned. We added cooked zucchini to his dinner 4 nights a week, softly sautéed in olive oil with garlic and a pinch of salt. Within a few weeks, he noticed a change. His eyes felt less gritty, he stopped rubbing them before bed, and more importantly, his sleep improved. "Feels like I can close my eyes without them stinging," he told me. That may sound small, but when you're 81 and struggling to rest, it's life-changing. Zucchini won't reverse vision loss, but it helps create the conditions for healing. It supports hydration, protects against internal stress, and gently delivers nutrients where your eyes need them most. It's proof that support doesn't always have to be intense. Sometimes the softest foods offer the strongest comfort. Now, what if you could combine all 4 of these vegetables, carrots, broccoli, kale, and zucchini, into one simple, soothing dish that feeds your vision while you rest? That's exactly what we'll do next. By now, you've seen how each of these vegetables, carrots, broccoli, kale, and zucchini, bring something unique to the table. One supports night vision, another reduces inflammation, one guards against degeneration, and the last hydrates and soothes. But here's the beautiful part. They don't need to work alone. In fact, when combined into a single meal, cooked the right way, at the right time, they can become a gentle, healing formula for your eyes. Especially before bed, when your body is naturally geared toward rest and repair. What I'm about to share isn't a fancy detox or trendy superfood bowl. It's a warm, simple dish I've recommended to dozens of patients over the years. Most of them in their 60-second, 70-second, and 80-second, and many of them have told me the same thing. "Doctor, I didn't know food could do that." Here's how you make it. Start with a small pot, add a bit of olive oil, and gently sauté half a chopped zucchini until it softens. Then add half a chopped carrot and cook for 4 to 5 minutes, allowing it to release its natural sweetness. Next, toss in a handful of broccoli florets and a 1/4 cup of chopped kale. Add a few tablespoons of water or low-sodium broth, cover the pot, and let it all steam together for another 5 minutes, just until the greens are tender but still vibrant. Season lightly with sea salt, and if you like, a squeeze of lemon or a sprinkle of turmeric for extra anti-inflammatory support. What you're left with is a bowl full of warmth, softness, and power. It's easy to chew, easy to digest, and packed with exactly the kind of nutrients your eyes crave, delivered just in time for your body's nightly repair cycle. No pills, no fancy supplements, just real food, gently cooked at the right moment of the day. Some of my patients choose to blend this mix into a creamy soup. Others eat it with a piece of soft whole grain toast or a bit of rice. There's no one right way. What matters is consistency. Try making this meal just 3 to 4 times a week in the evening and give it time, because while results may be subtle at first, a little less strain, a little more clarity, they add up, slowly, quietly, powerfully. And maybe most importantly, this simple act becomes something more than nutrition. It becomes a ritual of care, a message to your body that you're still here, still trying, still willing to heal. Up next, I want to leave you with one final message, a truth I've learned after 3 decades in medicine, and one I hope you'll carry with you long after this video ends. If you've made it this far, I want to say something very simple and very real. Thank you. Thank you for caring enough about your body, your eyes, and your future to stay with me through this conversation. That tells me something important about you. It tells me that even if your vision has slipped, even if you felt forgotten, frustrated, or told it's just part of aging, you haven't given up. And that matters more than any diagnosis. The truth is, aging does take things from us. It happens quietly, losing contrast in colors, squinting more often, avoiding night drives, or needing brighter lights just to read a label. Sometimes it happens so slowly we don't realize how much we've adapted, how much we've lost. But here's the hope I want to leave you with. The body still responds to care. Even in your 60-second, 70-second, 80-second, and beyond, your cells still rebuild, your eyes still try to heal, and the food you choose can either slow the decline or support the comeback. 4 vegetables, cooked gently, chosen with intention, combined into a single meal a few nights a week. That's not a burden, that's not a prescription. That's a small act of love for yourself and for the life you still want to see clearly. So wherever you are in your journey, whether you've just noticed small changes or you're living with a diagnosis like macular degeneration, I want you to remember this. You are not helpless. You are not too late, and you are absolutely not alone. Healing may not always mean reversing what's been lost. Sometimes, healing is protecting what remains, holding on to clarity, holding on to connection, and doing it with kindness, one bite at a time. If this message spoke to you today, if it gave you even a little bit of hope or clarity, I'd love for you to do something simple. Click like to let me know you're out there. Subscribe if you'd like more science-backed ways to support your health gently and naturally. And please share this video with someone you care about, especially if they're struggling with their eyesight and need a little light in their life. And lastly, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, which of these vegetables are you already using? Which one will you try this week? Your story might just inspire someone else who's reading, wondering if it's worth it to keep trying. Thank you for watching, thank you for caring, and never forget, your comeback doesn't have to be loud. It just has to begin.